Good morning, you guys. All right, I was just reflecting today on one of my recent teachings, which is actually a super old teaching, and it's probably a teaching that I got from one of my coaches. So, Tony Robbins says, okay, you get what you tolerate. And if you go Google Tony Robbins videos, it's really great. It's like, okay, well, you get what you tolerate. And then I always wonder, like, am I tolerating things or am I not tolerating things? Or is that compromise and is it healthy compromise? So I don't always know the answer, you guys, but at least I'm in the seeking or potential, fact-finding mode of that. So if you guys watched the live the other day, you can tell one of the things that I'm potentially wondering is, am I tolerating too much with our tax advisor or our CPA? No, I'm not sure, right? It could be that, like, everything that he's saying is, I'm confident everything he's saying is exactly true, okay? But the question is, am I asking enough questions or the right questions to actually have an advisor and not necessarily a CPA, okay? So it's like, okay, am I tolerating, right, it is what it is? Or am I going to do a little bit of maneuvering as an entrepreneur and have a few phone calls with a few other people or organizations to find out, is there an opportunity for more or not? Annette, I know, I love these glasses too. I'll tell you what they are. People always ask. They're Betsy Johnson and I love them. And look I want to order more online. Do you guys ever order glasses online? Like, I don't want to go to the glass place and get glasses right now, but I love these Betsy Johnsons and I have a few more that I want to order, and this prescription is only going to last so long, and I keep hesitating, tolerating, you guys. I keep hesitating not ordering glasses online because I'm like, how am I going to get them fitted? If you guys know the answer to that, I would love to hear. All right, so I work with a group of 5 or 6 people once a week for about 2 hours. And this is something that I started doing years ago, and now I'm asking them to do it too. So every time I hop on the line with this group of leaders, I'll say to them, all right, you guys, I want you to share with me the top 3 things that are consuming your mind. So if you guys wrote that down right now, if you're even brave enough to write something in the comments, the top 3 things that are consuming your mind right now, okay? So some days I'm like, there's not a lot of high level things, quite honestly. And then some days there's heavy stuff, and I can actually think of more than 3. Now I'll hold this group accountable. I only want to hear 3. Now each week, you guys, I get on the line with them and I'll say to them, okay, so what are the top 3 things consuming your mind? And sometimes, you guys, you can't just knock things off the list. Sometimes, you guys, within 7 days. So one of the things, though, you guys, is, are the top 3 things consuming my mind? Do they stay the top 3 things for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years? It's kind of the question is are the top 3 things that are consuming my mind, have those things been the top 3 things that have been consuming my mind for far too long, and therefore I'm tolerating? Does that make sense? Okay, now the thing is, you guys you'll check something off your list or you'll make a little progress. I'm like, maybe the goal isn't to always check something off the list, and I'm using the time frame a week. There is no time frame to this, you guys. Time is just relative. I just asked the question to this group of people because I happen to be on the phone with them weekly. Okay, so I want to know sometimes, is there progress, or is it still at the top of your list, or is it in motion? Maybe it's not complete, right? But it's in motion, which is great, but something else has made it to the list. So, I'll share with these guys too. So even though I'm kind of the mentor to this group, I'll share with these guys. So I was on the line with them 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I really didn't have anything to share. They've got stuff, right? And life was just good for Jason and I, so I didn't have a ton to share. It was great, okay? And then I was on the line with them yesterday, and they all went, right? And one of them had a little progression, and another one she was like, yeah, this is great. This is kind of off my list, but this one kind of rose to the list. And another one's like, I don't have anything, right? And I'm like, well, I have some stuff. You guys want to hear some of my stuff? And they're like, yes, we want to hear your stuff, right? And so sometimes now the thing is, the few things that are on my mind, you guys, oftentimes they're personal. But when you're an entrepreneur, if you don't handle the personal things, it seeps into your entrepreneurism. So let me give you guys an example. We have a nanny, right? And she messaged on Sunday morning that she wasn't going to be available to work this week, and she doesn't know for how long because she had to fly out for an emergency. Okay. You're like, so of course you're like, okay, that's great, right? I'm flexible. I'm a human. I'm empathetic. I got it. Okay. But now it's like, okay, so we're really in the prime heat of our business right now, and then we don't have a nanny, and Jason's out of town, working with some of our other leaders. And so it's a little bit like, okay, so it's just on my mind. So now, if that happened frequently with this person, or or you guys get it, or there tended to be a pattern, or this could move into like, do I just tolerate because I don't want to go interview again, right? Could I just tolerate because, right? Like when she's here, it's good. Now I'm just using this as an example. Like it could move into, what do I tolerate? But right now it's just on my mind. So it's one of the top 3 things consuming my mind. Now, if this stayed at the top of my top 3 list, you guys, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, well, I'm not going to go without a nanny, you guys, as an entrepreneur for 8 weeks. Then it would turn into, what am I tolerating and what do I need to just level up and do and tackle and take care of, or have the conversation or learn or observe about myself so that I can move beyond and not have this consume my mind for an excessive amount of time, right? So I just love this whole top 3 conversation, because oftentimes, you guys, we think as entrepreneurs it needs to be the business stuff, and sometimes it is. Many times, though, it's the personal stuff. It's a conversation I need to have with my spouse, or it's a conversation I need to have about money, or it's a conversation I need to have because I haven't paid my taxes for 3, 4, 5 years, which I do pay my taxes, right? But can you tell that the taxing is one of the top 3 things consuming my mind? Okay, so the thing is, like, there will always be more. So you get like something gets off the list, another thing gets off the list, and you're like, oh, something else just got added to the list. It's okay. We're evolving, growing, personally developed humans. We want to grow, and growing is learning the skills to maneuver through these things, right? Sometimes they fall off the list. Like you get back on the call with my team, you guys, the next week, and they're like, it's not on the list anymore. It just resolved itself. Okay, perfect, right? It's not on the list, right? Great, okay. Then maybe nothing's on the list for a week or 2 because life is good, or nothing's on the list for 2 months because life is good. But as a growing human, right? One of our mentors says, some of you guys know this, the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. So when you guys have problems, those are things that might be consuming your mind, but that is an opportunity for us to grow, expand, evolve, right? We take it on, but maybe don't let those things sit there, for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Okay, happy April 22nd.